Okay, I'm going to test if this is a good mask. If it's good, the candle light will not go off. Okay, so it is a good mask. Cut out some poster boards that would fit a 6.5 inches by 6 inches. Okay, so up here, 6 inches. And going down, 6.5. Make a squares of 6 by 6.5. Okay, so the pattern looks something like this. 6.5 on both sides, left and right. Top and bottom, 6 inches. Now I'm going to divide the lines, inches. Put some dot there first. 1.25 inches, another dot. There's going to be 3 lines of 1.25 inches, 1.25. I'm going to mark the same thing on this side. So whatever left there, just leave it the way it is. So the leftover, it's about 2.75. 2.75 or 2 3/4. Now I'm going to connect the dots. Okay, right here, bottom, 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. Make a dot right there. And this part right here, I label top, is the 2.75 inch. I'm going to drop down to 1.75 or 1 3/4. 1 3/4 of an inch right there. I am going to use this as a center point because if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's total of 5 lines. So now I'm going to use this line as a center point, and we can connect the dots by using the curve rulers right there to there. Okay, now just flip your ruler to the other side like that. And right here, that dot to this one. And last one, going to connect that dot to that corner of the line. Our pattern is now ready to be cut. Poster board is the best for this assignment, guys. Okay, guys, our pattern is now complete and ready to be used. This material is so awesome. It's kind of like paper towel and fabric combined. Okay, do not forget to put a sewing pin there. There's 2 sheets of HEPA filter here. So the patterns go on top of the 2 sheet of HEPA filter. 2 sheets. The pattern is half. So when we put the pattern over the 2 sheet, that's 1 whole sheet of mask. We are going to do the same thing on the fabrics. Now cut out the HEPA filter. Now we're going to do the same thing on fabrics. The right side print of the fabric face each other, followed by the sewing pins, and then trace. Make sure you have your sewing pin to hold the fabrics together. We are going to trace on another set of fabrics. So total of 3 layers. Okay guys, so all 3 layers are cut up. Now I'm going to place one pair, the good size together, inside the filter layer. If you don't have this filter, then you use 3 layers of fabrics. Make sure the nose part match. and do that. Pin them down because I'm going to make stitches along the curve. Go ahead and pin them down. Okay. And then they are ready to be stitched. Same thing with this one. I pinned all of them. Make sure the fabric does not move. Okay, let's move to the sewing machine. Okay, now let's make some stitches right along the curve. Make sure you go in at least 1 centimeter. Remove this out of the way and do the next piece. Do the same thing. Move in at least 1 centimeter. I'm going to secure them down as I'm making slit, that way they don't move. Okay, that's the nose part. Open up. This is the sheets with the filter. And kind of press with your finger there. Make sure they are nice and neat. You can iron this part or just kind of crease it down. But I will move to the iron in just a minute, showing you to do this first. Crease down the next set of fabric as well. Okay, now I'm going to iron. Make sure the crease are wide, flat. Because I'm going to make the 2 stitches along this crease right here. This is kind of difficult part, I think. And this part right here, not recommended. It is hot, so. But I couldn't get a good grip if I kind of put on the ironing board. Okay, so we got that. Open up because I'm going to make the stitches. Do the same thing to this one. Okay, see that extra piece right there? I'm going to trim that off. Right there. And I'm going to make the stitch both sides going down. And make sure everything's flat down there on the inside. Okay, make sure this go in the right direction. Now, make the stitch. Make sure you kind of helps kind of even this out as well. Back stitch a little and work your way down. Now let's do another vertical stitch and make sure you kind of help with your fingers. Spread out the fabric nice and even. So now that's looking like that. Trim out some extra thread. Okay, on both sides, top and bottom. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other piece. Trim that extra piece off as well. Same thing, I'm going to make the 2 stitches all the way down along this, and make sure these are stay flat. Kind of work a little bit as you go. Back stitch a little bit and go. Make sure you press right there as the machine moves. That way your stitches are nice and even, and your fabrics is even as well. Back stitch. Another vertical stitch to kind of have both the inside and the outside stay nice and neat. Matches like the top. The pointy part is for the nose right there. Make sure that match the good side and the good side, and they match. And right here need some pin. Don't go too far up because you're going to make the stitches on the top and on the bottom. Now secure most part with the sewing pins and away from where we're gonna make stitches. Okay, you might run into this problem on both sides. There's gonna be some uneven parts of fabrics. Go ahead and trim some of them off and make sure they are evened, but not on the top and the bottom. Sure these kind of match. Okay, so I'm only going to stitch top and bottom. About 1 centimeter further in. Now make sure all the pins are removed. Turn them inside out. Okay, ready? There. Okay, use the ruler, something straight, and use a ruler and kind of press the ruler against the seams. Make sure everything's out and even. Now make a fold on both ends about 1.5 centimeter and press and crease it down with your fingernails. And secure both ends down with a sewing pin before we move to the iron. One and a half centimeter, press down really tightly, iron. Iron on this side too. Okay. And do the same thing on this side. Remove the pin and then press with the iron. Okay, so right here, make sure, put some pressure on there, and then we're gonna iron on the sides as well. iron on this side and iron on this side. Okay, now let's do the strap. 6.5. Pinch that and curve around. And cut there. That will be 2 pieces. Okay. Sure, this is straight. And you're gonna loop around here. Okay, make sure that. Back stitch, back stitch. Now leave the needle stuck on the fabric and turn it. I'm going to make the stitches along the bottom here. Press that up, 1.5 centimeter in there. Press down, back stitch. Help that with your hand. Lift up and leave the needle stuck on the fabrics. And we're just gonna loop around here. Make sure this is even. Okay. Oops, forgot to press that down. Leave the needle stuck in there. That way you don't have to keep cutting the thread. Okay, and make sure everything's nice and even. Press down. Back stitch. Voila, it's done.